Hi everyone, and welcome to the very first episode of my brand new Football Manager 21 series, From Hope to Glory at Truro City, with me, the United City FM. Welcome along. So this is going to be an introductory episode into the club, Truro City. Who are they? Where are they? What have they done? All that kind of good stuff. They've been very successful from like 2007 through 2009, 10, 11. They won a couple of divisional titles. They won the FA Trophy, or Vars, one or the other trophy, I think, possibly, but they won that, and so there's some success in the history up to a certain level, but they currently sit in 7th tier of English football, and our intention in this series is to get them right the way up to the top of English football and beyond into Europe and conquer that as well. In terms of channel stuff, if you're new, then subscribe to the channel and join my United City community. The more the merrier. Click that like button for me, it helps me get seen by loads of other people. There's loads of links to stuff that I'll tell you all about later in the episode in the description below. Go and check those out. But I've got a Patreon to welcome into the midst, along with Acacio and Joe, who have been Patreons for a little while now. We now have Nathan amongst us as well, so welcome in, Nathan. Thank you for those guys that are supporting me through Patreon. Unbelievably generous of you and means the world to me, so it's absolutely incredible. Thank you for doing that, guys. If you want the link to Patreon and read up on why I do this and what I want from my Patreon and why I do YouTube, etc., there's a whole load of stuff I wrote on the Patreon. Link into that description below as well. That's all from me, though, in terms of an intro. Let's get into this, and let's start off with Truro City and see how high we can get them. So here we are in the boardroom at Truro City. Quite a small little boardroom, quite a small club at the moment in tier 7 of English football. But the aim is to absolutely get them to the very top if we possibly can. It's going to be a challenge. I've never done quite done a series like this before, so I don't know how it will go. I might get the sack in the first season if I don't get promoted. Who knows? But hopefully this is a long-term series and we will take them right to the top if we possibly can. So I have just been confirmed as the new Truro City manager here on Football Manager 21. I haven't gone any further than this into the game. I don't know anything about the setup, particularly in terms of having gone in and looked around. I know a little bit about the club in real terms, but this is a brand new day for Truro. Thanks to everybody that has gone before me, and now it's my turn to see if I can push this club as high as I possibly can. So the media prediction for this season is top. Now, last season, they finished top of the division, but they didn't get promoted because the coronavirus hit and the league was abandoned at the end of, I think, about the 31st match. And so all of the results were null and voided from the National Conference down, I think it was, or below the National Conference. And so Truro City missed out on a chance to go and get promoted into the division above. So that is one of the reasons why I wanted to take this club over, to be honest. When I was looking for a long-term series, it was an interesting story. They've done a load of stuff in the last few years. From about 2007 through 2010, I think it was, they were quite successful in terms of getting a couple of divisional titles, and they also won the FA Trophy, I think. Yes, I think they won the FA Trophy in about 2007, something like that. But then they went into administration in about 2012-13 and dropped down a division. They've, at the height, been in, I think, the 6th tier, the one just below the conference. And we're now in 7th tier. They got relegated in, I think, 2019, something like that, to the 7th tier. So it's the attempt now to try and get us back out of that and actually make it into the Football League. The other reason that I wanted to take this club over, other than all of that info that I found quite interesting as a story for a club, is that this is a club from Cornwall, and Cornwall, for those outside of England, is right down in the bottom left-hand corner in the southwest of England, and they are the biggest club in the Cornwall area. But obviously that means that there are no Cornish clubs in the Football League. And so my intention originally was to try and, as a first challenge, to get this club into the Football League and give the league a Cornish presence, as it were. were. I'm not from the area myself. I didn't have a connection to Truro before all this, but sitting on this series for the last couple of months and looking at the club, I've been kind of quite attached to them really as I venture into this kind of virtual manager world. So I hope that you and I will journey together for the next few months. It's going to be a long-term series. It's going to take a long time, but I hope you'll stick with it. There'll be some other series that come on and off the channel around this, but this will be the focus of the channel moving forward. So let's see how we get on. So the outline for the board's vision of the future is quite a cool one. It's quite simple at this point. Work within the budget. We need to get promotion by winning the league. That is going to be tricky for somebody like me who doesn't know this particular level of football particularly well. Can I gather a squad enough together that's going to be able to do that? I mean, in theory, they're predicted to finish top already, so the squad should have the quality to do that, you would think, if they're predicting it. We'll have to wait and see whether I can add to the squad. In terms of FA Cup, reached a fourth qualifying round. I think we start in the second qualifying round maybe, so there's a couple of rounds that we need to get through of that. And then preferred is reached the third round of the FA Trophy. Was it the FA Vase or the FA Trophy they won before? I'm not 100% sure, but we'll look at that in a second. And then the Southern League Cup isn't particularly important to them. Okay, that's fair enough. And they're basically then looking to build on promotion to the Vanarama North-South after this season. So all in all, a really interesting challenge, a really interesting club with an interesting story behind it for the last few seasons. There's also, in real terms, a brand new stadium in the works, but I'm not sure if that's going to be in the game or not. So here we are on the homepage of, not the homepage, my news page at Truro City. As I say, I haven't looked any further than this. This is me looking at all of this for the first time. So I'm welcome to the hot seat. By the way, I'm using the FM editors database, the tier 10 database for this. Big shout out to him. All his links will be in the description below. There'll be a load of stuff in the description below. The new skin that I'm using is the TCS, I think it's called TCS skin, that's just come out. The links to that will be in the description below. And by the end of this week, I should have had it for today, but I completely slipped my mind, if I'm honest. By the end of this week, there'll be some custom kits made for in-game as well. So I'll be showing them, and that's going to be done by the FM custom kits guys. So fantastic work by the community to support all of these different series that are coming out, and mine will be no different from that. All of those guys are really important to this series. All of their links will be in all of the videos below, and occasionally I'll give them a shout out here and there as well. But yeah, fantastic to have so many people doing so many amazing things in the Football Manager community, and I'm just delighted to be a part of it. So here we are. I suspect we'll only be introducing the squad and the team, the setup of the club today. There won't be any games to play particularly, but it'll be interesting to look around. So the first thing, let's go into the club, into this page, the club information page, and just see what we can learn from them. So we are in the UK in England, founded in 1889, so it's been going 130 something years, 31 years, semi-professional at this point, half a star reputation. We're going to build that hopefully over the coming seasons. The suggested formation is a 5-3-2, I guess, 5-3-2 or 3-5-2, one or the other. I'm not sure I'm going to be playing that. I don't get on particularly well with 3 at the back myself. I struggle to make it work a little bit, so that might have to change. So we'll see how that gets on. So we're in the Pitching In Southern Premier League. Pitching In is, I guess, the sponsor of the league. We'll go and look at the league table in a second. Affiliated clubs, we have no affiliated clubs. Facilities, Truro Road is the stadium. At the moment, we've got a 3,500 capacity, 1,600 plus seated. What have we got? Stadium conditions not great. It's privately owned. There's basic facilities around it. Poor youth set up. Fairly basic academy coaching. The history summary. This is how we've done in terms of league positions. So you can see the last couple of seasons here in terms of what they've achieved. Let's see where the height was. The height was probably here, where they finished in the Vanarama National League South in 4th. So that's what we've got to beat in terms of getting above the real club's expectations, I guess. Honours, this is another thing I wanted to check out. Was it the Vase? It was the FA Vase that they won in 2007. I thought I'd made a bit of an error on that one. But there's been several divisional championships won over the last few seasons. You can see that period from 2007 through 2009 was very successful. 11, they won the Southern English Premier Division, and they third placed in 2015. So that's the kind of area that we're in. We've had a few different managers over the time. I've just taken over from Mr. Wooten. I can't remember his first name if I'm honest, but that's the actual current manager in real terms as well. And the transfer history, we've made some transfers that we'll check out in a second, how good they are this season already. Obviously, no money went out in terms of fees, but we'll continue to look in the free transfer market and the loan market as well to see if we can get a couple more players in just to fill out the squad if we need to. But that's a general look at the club. Let's go into the league and just check out. These are the competitions we're in this season: the English Southern League Cup, the Build Base FA Trophy, the Emirates FA Cup, and the Pitching In Southern Premier South. There's 4 divisions in the Southern Premier, so we are in the south version of that, the southern version of that being right in the bottom left-hand corner, as I say. So we've got loads of teams in here. 21 is that? That's an interesting number for a league. I think potentially a club dropped out, didn't they, at the back end of last season when it all got cancelled towards the end of the season. I think a team potentially dropped out of that, but that's something that somebody else is going to have to fill me in on. If you've got any information about any of this, if I get anything wrong or you know more about the club, then just share it in the comments and let me know. Fill me in on the history. I'm always willing to learn and wanting to learn about the mighty Truro City. The White Tigers is the nickname of the club, or at least one of them anyway. So this is the list that we've got. We've got the likes of Dorchester, Harrow, Metropolitan Police have got a side in there, Taunton, Yate, Wimborne. There's lots of clubs in here that I don't really know how good they are or where we fit in that, but the prediction is for top. So let's, set our sights on that really and suggest that's what we need to be achieving this season, because that's what they're expecting of us. There's nothing of the finances of the club much really. There's £7,000 in the bank, £7,500 in the bank, no transfer budget at all. We've got £250 left in the wage budget. We might have to restructure a little bit, maybe move a couple of players on that don't quite fit. But overall, exciting times. So let's go and check out the squad that we've got. Let's first off go into the under-23 squad and see who's in there, if anyone. There's only a couple of players. Rio Garside is the first player that we're looking at in the entire series. Rio Garside, 18 years old, and he is... what is he? He's an attacking midfield player, it looks like. And... yeah, not too bad as for a youngster anyway. He's got some attributes. In terms of where I've set my attribute colours to, just so you know, the top one, the green one, is set from 11 over. And the orange one is the next one down, and that's 8 and over. And the red is 5 and over, and anything under gets a grey number. So those are the different attribute colours that I've set for this particular series. If I set like 15 and above, then for the green ones, we'd never see a green one for about the first 5 years of this particular series, possibly even longer. So that's how they're set. And Rio Garside, because there's only a couple of guys in this under-23 squad, the other being Stuart Yetton, who looks half decent actually, doesn't he? He's the assistant manager as well, and is a striker, and he's decent, good finishing. Composure could be a little bit better. At the age of 34, some of the physicals are down, but the mental stats are great, aren't they, really? So he will play a part, I have no doubt about that. So we're going to move both of these over to the main squad, because if there's only 2 in here, we might as well. And that leads us into the main squad. And this is it. How many players have we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. We could do with probably about 20, 21. 21 would be a good sort of minimum size that I'd want, really. This is my the view that I use with the different bits of information across the screen. If you like it, it's easy to do. Just take a screen grab of it and then follow the different titles at the top. But I like it. It gives me all the information I need as we progress through the side. We've got quite a few potentially good players for the current club that we're in and what the player list is, but the current ability ones are the ones that we need to look at, and there's sort of 4 at the top here of all 4 stars and over. So let's look through these. So we've got James Hammond, who is our goalkeeper. At 25 years old, that's a good age as well. And so he's got some greens, hasn't he? Right across the board in the goalkeeping terms, the mental terms and the physical terms. He's got a few greens here and there, which is really very, very good. We'll take that all day long. So looks like he's going to be our number 1 choice goalkeeper. Next one down is a fullback come central midfield player. What's he? He's a fullback primarily, left-sided. This is Ryan Dixon. And again, greens across the different attribute areas, as it were. A little bit more pace would be great, but I suspect we're going to struggle for pace at this level of football, maybe a little bit. But 33 years old, got a lot of experience and will no doubt play a part for us this season. The third of the 4 that we're looking at is Kieran Hayes, and he's an attacking midfielder striker. He's more of a forward player. And he's got a bit more pace about him, little less on the finishing, but decent passing and some good mentals here and there as well. So again, another really good option. Hopefully we'll find a good position for him to play in the setup that we choose. I've got no idea about a setup yet in terms of the style of play or the actual formation. There's a couple of the fans have been in contact with me via Twitter. I sent out a tweet a while ago through Truro City's official Twitter account and got some fan responses about how they set themselves up. So we'll be looking through that a little bit, or I will be, whilst I'm setting this up. But here's the fourth of our key players, and it's Tyler Harvey. And again, he's an attacking midfield player and really very decent. Passing is good, technique is good, vision is good. A little bit more in the physicals wouldn't go amiss, but some very good mental attributes. Free kick taking, always useful as well. I think we might have found the star of our show, potentially. Tyler Harvey, if you're out there, let's do this, shall we? You and I can go and take this league apart, I reckon. We'll see what we can do. But those are the 4 main guys at the head of our team in terms of the current ability. We've only got 1 goalkeeper. Might have to go and find a goalkeeping backup from somewhere, potentially. But other than that, it's a reasonably sized squad, but one that we can work plenty to improve, I would suggest. So if we go up into the dynamics, we'll see that the team cohesion isn't great at the moment, and we need to improve that to improve the quality of performance on the pitch. Club atmosphere is very, very good, which is excellent to see. Managerial support is good. That's not too bad for this point, really. Coming into a new club as a new manager is always they'll always be a bit wary of you. So it's Stuart Yetton, who is my assistant manager, who's the key senior member of the squad. So we're going to have his help a little bit. There's a couple of guys that already support me, which is nice. The social groups, there's a couple of guys that have come in. These are possibly new signings. We will check those out in a second. But primarily, it's not too bad in terms of 2 main groups. Happiness, everybody's pretty happy. Code of conduct, I'll sort that out. But overall, not too bad. So yeah, let's go in and have a look at the transfer dealings that have happened so far this season, this summer. So nobody left the club, as far as I can tell, in terms of for any fee or anything. There might have been some end of contracts, etc., possibly. But we made 5 signings already, and it's these guys. So let's go through them. Ryan Brett. He's a winger. And primarily it looks maybe on the left, maybe. He's left-footed only. Has got some good orange right the way through. A little bit lacking in pace. 29 years old. Couple of greens in the physicals. So he's a left-sided winger. Then we've got Shane White. But we've got 3 from Taunton, apparently, on free transfers. And this guy's a he's a defending fullback on the right side. And he's got something about him, hasn't he? Absolutely. Few reds around, but some decent greens as well. At 30 years old, bit of experience. So that's good. Welcome in Shane White. The third of the 5 is Andrew Neal, and he's a striking option. 12 on finishing, 10 on composure. Determination is really high, which is great. A little bit of pace and acceleration. Work rate is high. That's good. That's a good striking option. The 4th on the list is Ryan Dixon. We've already seen Ryan Dixon in our look around the club. High potential player and high current ability player, and he's going to be a mainstay, I would suggest, in that left fullback position. So he's one of the 5 new guys into the club. And then the last of the 5 is Reuben Collins, 19 years old, central defender. Could improve a little bit here and there in terms of his actual defending attributes, but good leadership, good determination, good, a bit of aggression, jumping reach is good, strength is good. So there's a good central defender in here, and at 6'6" tall, going to be a presence for us in both boxes, you would hope, and very young. So got all the potential in the world. 3 stars at the moment. Reuben Collins, I think we could make a star out of him if we can keep hold of him. Of course, the problem with this level of football is that anybody above us that decides they want to come and take our players can pretty much do it anytime they like. But yeah, there we are. So the last thing that we're going to do is going to look in on my profile and just show you that my attributes are very low. I've set my ratings all for the level that Truro was at. So I've got a National B licence and Sunday League footballing experience as my created manager in the game. So there's a lot of building I need to do to get ourselves to the top as well. I'll be going on some coaching courses as soon as I can, etc. But those are my current attributes. I've set myself up as a bit of a tactician manager. The other things will be taking care of my staff, but the actual sort of tactical side of the game will be down to me, really. We haven't played any games yet, so there's nothing in there. Characteristics is nothing to be talked about, really, because I haven't done anything yet. But yeah, so that's just to prove that I haven't put myself in there as the best manager or anything. We start at the bottom, and we mean to get right the way to the top. And this is basically Truro City. If we go and look into our competition page again, you can see the board expectation is to be promoted by winning the league, reach the 4th round of the qualifying set up for the FA Cup, reach the 3rd round minimum for the FA Trophy, and the English Southern League Cup isn't quite important enough for them. But there's 4 competitions to play. Let's see how we get on with all of them. And this is Truro City. And I'm absolutely delighted to be here. Sorry there's no game match engine stuff to look at today, but that will come in the very next episode. I've now got to go through the rest of the summer transfer window, see if I can bring in a couple more players just to supplement what we've already got in the club. There's probably 1 or 2 gaps. A goalkeeping reserve goalkeeper will be good, for example. But once I do that, you and I will be back together in the very next episode where we will play our very first league match. So let's just go and check out who that's going to be against. We've got some friendly matches to play first, but the first competitive game, Walton Casuals. And I'm not sure what they're predicted to finish. Don't know if there's anywhere I can find that out. Let's not worry about that, but that's the first team that we'll be coming up against, and we will be doing that in the very, very next episode. So episode 2, the matches get underway. Wish me luck between now and then in trying to figure out this setup. We'll come back and I'll have sorted out a tactic and a formation, style of play, and we'll hopefully have brought a couple more players into the club on free transfers just to supplement what we've got. Thank you for joining me today. I know it's a bit sort of wordy and talky, but it's important to introduce the club. I think think we've done that pretty well. And so from next episode onwards, we get going and we try and move this club right the way to the top of English football and into Europe and conquer that as well if we possibly can. Thank you for joining me today. Remember, all of the links in the description below for the FM editor and his team and what he does, which is great. The skin link will be in the description below. There'll be all of my links in the description below to the likes of Twitter and Discord and Patreon and merchandise. If you want to support the channel or join the channel and join my United City community, those are the ways in which you can do it, specifically through Discord and Twitter. And yeah, other than that, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already and join my United City community here on YouTube and follow the videos as they're released. I do Monday through Friday at 6:30 p.m. every day English time. So that's when my content will be dropping. And through till the new year, all 5 days of the week will be Truro City. In the new year, we'll add a second series in and put Truro City into 3 days a week and the other into 2 days. So there's a bit of difference in the channel moving forward. But to the new year, it's all about Truro City and getting going with that. So subscribe to the channel, like this particular episode for me. Click that like button, helps me get seen by lots of other people. But until next episode, when we get going in the league, take care of yourselves. I'll see you very soon. Bye for now.